Hi guys, it's Robin. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you this weekend. I sat right here, actually in my pajamas and some hot coffee, and I did homework all weekend long. All weekend long. I still have some things to do. But I wanted to just kind of go over where I'm at right now with my classes and let you know why I look so haggard. I'm looking haggard lately. I'm so tired. And but that's good. It's a good thing. I still love school. I absolutely love school. I just this is new to me, this part of, you know, I have the regular work thing down and homework and such, but now it's getting final exams ready, projects, papers that are due, things like that. This is my November calendar. Can you believe tomorrow's November? Oh my. Happy Halloween! Forgot to say Happy Halloween. I'm a witch. Yeah, this is my November calendar. Everything highlighted is a paper, a project, or my camera's backwards, so it's hard for me to see. Or it's a test. So, yeah, little stressed. Like, for instance, in my language arts class, composition, we're doing this research paper I've talked about in APA format. Well, but he's giving due dates broken down into bits and parts, which is great because I don't really remember doing this back in the day. Could have, probably just didn't do it. But anyway, so the first part was getting our scope and bib typed up and done in APA format. So basically it just tells about what we're going to write about, our 5 thoughts, those are going to be our headings, the headings, and then in APA format all of our citations, you know, authors, articles, websites that we're going to use, whatever. So I did all that. I think my husband's coming downstairs. Eric, you want to say hi?
No, thank you.
Are you sure? Come on, honey. Okay, anyway, so this was the first part that was due. This was an extra copy I made, so I got that done. Next was, or is, we just got the note card assignment. These are examples, how you mark them and everything with our articles. Now, our articles, if we wanted a 75%, we needed 8 cited sources. We needed at least 1 book, 1 website, and then the rest journal articles from EBSCOhost. So if we wanted more than that, we needed more than the minimum of 8, no more than 15. So I want more than a 75%, so I did all 15. So I have 2 books, 3 websites, and then the rest articles. Yeah. On Alzheimer's, these are my articles that I printed out, okay, from EBSCOhost. Some of these articles, I need a medical dictionary to break down what it's saying, because it's written by medical doctors for other medical doctors or professionals that I haven't had those classes yet, so a lot of it is sounds like a foreign language to me. But anyway, so now what I have to do is I have to go through these and make my note cards. One thing I did do, and let me show you, when we were going through, now this was also a duplicate copy of the scope and bib I just showed you. We had to write our 5 open-ended questions. What is Alzheimer's disease? Who is at risk for developing Alzheimer's? What commonalities? You know, we had to come up with 5 things that we're going to eventually talk about in our paper. So what I did was I assigned them each a color, and then I went through each article. I skimmed through in the beginning. I skimmed through each article and I highlighted parts that went with whatever question I had. So at the top, within this, what, 8-page article, I know I have a question, or each of these colors are covered in this article. Okay, I went through and I did that with all my articles. Some articles just had blue, which is what commonalities are associated between Alzheimer's disease and other disorders. Some of them were just green, some of them just had yellow. But if they have more than one, I just put it up top so that when I go through now for my cards, I will know what that article contains and I can read a little more in depth for that. So yeah, this is due next week. And then after that, it's going to be the thesis outline that's due. And then after that, it's going to be our paper. And then after that, it's the oral presentation of our research paper. So pray for me. But I'm slowly and surely getting that done. And you know the scary part is there were 4 people in class today. 4. There are still 10 to 12 on his books, I think he said, but we're never there at the same time. And I don't know why. I mean, there was snow up in the Northeast. I hope everyone's okay, by the way. But here in Delaware, we just got some icy roads, and we didn't get snow really, but they did just up in Philly, maybe 90 minutes north of us. But no one travels from there, so I don't know where everyone was, but that's okay. You have to go to class. You have to. You miss so much help. You miss, like he moved a due date for us. Well, we know about it. They don't. You know, so unless we run into someone in the hall or something, or in another class, they're not going to have that information. So that's what I'm doing right now for composition. Sociology, we have a test. I have 3 tests this week. 1 on Wednesday and 2 on Thursday. So these are the note cards I am learning for my sociology quiz or test. We only have 3 in that class total, so they're pretty big when we do get them. I can't remember how many pages the last one was, but it took the whole hour and 20 minutes of class to do that one. In algebra, okay, hold on, I'll cover algebra in just a minute. I'm going to go on to clinical math. So clinical math, usually our tests, I have 1 on Wednesday in clinical math. Our tests are usually covered by or we usually do 2 to 3 chapters in a test at a time. This test just covers chapter 15, which is IV solutions, equipment, and calculations. So we're learning drops per minute, you know, we're learning how many mLs per hour, things like that. We have to, let me hold this up. We just basically are finding the calibrations, things like that. Okay, so we have sheets and sheets of practice things to do. This is some of the stuff we're doing. Ooh, my camera's backwards, it keeps messing me up. Okay, things like that. Ratio, proportion, things such. Now back a few, well, probably last month, early last month, I think it was chapter 8. No. Oral dosage of drugs, chapter 10. We were learning how to interpret drug orders. We were learning when the doctor orders a certain amount of medication or whatever, the nurse's responsibility is to look to see how it comes from the manufacturer, what the pharmacy has, do the calculations and such. Some people still like the ratio proportion, and some people liked this. The only reason I'm mentioning this was Nurse Nicole was talking about this in one of her videos a couple weeks ago. And it's the desired over what you have multiplied by the quantity, like how it comes per ml or per tablet or whatever, and that's the amount that you need to give the patient. Well, a lot of people in my class were getting these two mixed up. They would put the have, what they have, over what the doctor was wanting. So I told Nicole, I said, wait, I remembered was doc over stock. It just rhymes, doc over stock, and I'll never ever forget it. So it's what the doctor ordered over what you have. Okay, and then the rest, I mean, it's all the same, it's just the terminology. If you can't remember desire over have, remember doc over stock, and you'll be good to go. She thought that would be a good little tip to share with some people, maybe some people that can help. So, have at it. Doc over stock. Okay, what else? Oh, algebra. Okay, so math and I, we're not the best of friends. We get along fine. I mean, I'm killing it in my medical math, but I think it's because it's applied to my major, and I feel like it's something I'm finally getting to do that's medical related, and I just love it. I mean, I want problems like all the time. I'm always asking her if she has sheets I can do, and she's like, Robin! So anyway, but I really enjoyed in there. But put me in a regular math class and I'm just not a happy camper. It's just not my thing. It's like Mathanese to me. It is completely another language. My husband gets it. Makes complete sense to him. My oldest and my youngest get it. But poor Shelby and I mean, we make do and we do well. I have a B in the class, but I would really, really like an A. But he moves so fast because he has to. He's covering all the objectives he's supposed to cover, but it's the terminology. He's thrown it out. I haven't had it in forever. So it's the terminology I'm not familiar with anymore, and then watching him do it, and then he's like, or can't we also say that this is the, and I'm like, now you just messed me up. Now you just confused me. So I was trying to think of what some things were in the beginning that I was having troubles with remembering, and I jotted them down. So again, maybe little tips and tricks could help you out. If I'm confusing you or if it doesn't work for you, then absolutely don't mind me. Okay? Just keep doing what you've been doing. But a few things, let me move this out of the way. So a few things that were of help. Okay. PEMDAS. Does everybody remember that? Order of operation. When you have an equation, what do you do first? So PEMDAS, okay, this is how, or the order in which you solve things. Okay, so the P stands for parentheses, E is your exponent, like the squared or the cubed or whatever, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Well, I thought it was this order. Oops, you read it from left to right. Now some people remember this by please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. My professor says perhaps everyone might do another semester. I thought that was cute, so thought I'd pass that along. But that's how they remember, and even still I'll write that down if we're doing something like that in class, which we're kind of past that, but I would write PEMDAS down right away on my quiz or test or whatever, and that would just help me remember. But he liked to break it down like this. Now this is something I thought, you know, parentheses. Okay, let me go on with what he was saying and I'll explain that. Okay, so looking here, parentheses and exponents, absolutely, in order. You do those first. You always do what's in a parenthesis first, and then if there's any exponents, which I didn't show down here, you would do those next, okay? Now, then the M and the D, which stands for multiplication or division, you do whatever shows up first in the number sentence. Reading from left to right, just like you would in a book. Whichever one shows first is what you do first between the two, between multiplication and division. I thought you always did the multiplication first. No! So, the ones I got wrong, when I went back and, because he told me that. He's like, you did your multiplication first. I said, well, I know, because the M shows up first. He goes, think of it like this in stair steps. PEMDAS. Whichever one shows up first between the multiplication and the division is critical, okay? The addition and the subtraction, you still do them in order of appearance, but he said it's not as critical. Okay, so then I wrote down some examples. So here, reading from left to right, you're going to do the 3 plus 3 first, okay? Because that's what's in the parentheses. We don't have the exponents. So now, after you do the 3 plus 3 is 6, what comes next? The 2 multiplied by the 6. Okay, then you do your addition.